Good morning, profitable traders. Welcome to the market color session of today being the 16th of January 2025. So good to have you on everyone on your I'd like to crave your indulgence. Kindly share the link to this session with everyone on your various social media platforms so they can get to as many people as possible. And would like to take out this time to apologize for starting really late. All right, so for this segment of the market color session, I will be analyzing DXY, GBP USD, and Euro USD. Right after that, my colleague, Lekon, will be coming up for his analysis on gold and yen. And if you have questions during the course of this session, you can actually type in the chat box, or if you have inquiries to make, we are more than willing to answer your every question. So just as we said, we'll be starting with the XY and coming down to the weekly time frame as seen right here. I've been looking at this point of interest for a period of time now as to where price should buy into on the weekly time frame before selling off. And on the daily time frame as seen right here, we're seeing this high at this level, 98.426 being taken out, and we're seeing some push to the upside on the daily time frame. Coming down to the 4-hour time frame, pretty much the same thing. We haven't seen price breaking above. So establishing the fact that we are looking out for buy opportunities, we'll just be pinpointing entries for the buy opportunity on the XY on the 15 minutes time frame based on the box strategy that we usually use for analysis right here at Value Flow Trading. I can't spot any entry using the box pattern. But coming down to the 5 minutes time frame, I actually can spot one right here. Saw this shoulder, saw the sweep right here and the break to the upside. So once price returns right back into this left shoulder at 98.835, I want to buy DXY. So please take note of these price points that we're calling out so that you'll be right on time to execute. I'm coming down to the weekly Euro USD, beg your pardon, on the weekly time frame as seen right here. I want to, buy Euro USD once price retraces into 1.06763 shoulder, sweep, break. Once price returns into this left shoulder, I want to buy Euro USD. On the daily time frame, however, we're seeing that price has broken the low at 1.17010. Coming down to the 4-hour time frame, we're seeing the most recent price action being bearish. And on the 1-hour time frame, also, we're seeing even more bearishness. Establishing this, we want to look out for sell opportunities on the much lower time frames. On the 15 minutes time frame, I can't spot any entry yet on the 15 minutes time frame. And coming down to the 5 minutes time frame, let's see if there is an entry. If it is not so obvious, we will wait until price gives us an entry before we enter the market. On 5 minutes time frame also, it is not so obvious. I can't spot an entry, so I'm going to wait for price to thank you for that, Fifth Don't Lie. I'm going to wait for price to give an entry before taking positions in the market. And on GBP USD, as seen right here, pretty much the same thing. We want to, sell off into 1.24683. And once price gets there, we want to, buy. And coming down to the daily time frame of GBP USD, right? we've seen price retracing, and the break of structure is not really solid. It's not obvious, it is dubious. Coming down to the 4-hour time frame, however, I'm seeing that the low right here has been broken. This candle closed right below this previous low, and then of course we saw a change of character to a sell. Of course, price was supposed to print a higher high, but instead it came right here and printed a lower high. And then we saw this break of market structure. On 1-hour time frame, pretty much the same thing, very obvious. We want to do nothing but sell GU. We want to do nothing but sell GU. On Wednesday, I was actually looking at this left shoulder sweep, break, and we were actually looking out for price to return right back into this left shoulder. But instead, this was what price did, tapped into this fair value gap right here and sold. It's pretty much like 2 points of interest and one was respected. However, for the most recent sell that we're looking out for, there's no entry yet based on box and 15 minutes time frame. Coming now to the 5 minutes time frame, I don't want to force something that isn't so obvious, so I'm just going to wait. But this looks like a box pattern, but the sweep is not sweeping, so I'm going to wait for something that is more obvious and very clean before taking positions in the market. And of course, you know that we always make room for different perspective as to what you're seeing in the market. So feel free to type in the chat box if you're seeing a buy, if you're seeing entries based on your own strategy. Please let us know, call my attention to it. And of course, we will be looking at the market from your own view. And while you're still putting your thoughts together to ask your questions, registration for the FX bootcamp training and the ATM cash flow training is currently ongoing. Send us a message on 081 6099 5030 or just head straight to the website academy.valueflowtrading.com to register. And also the Falcon 2.0 bot leasing service is currently ongoing. This is 2026 and people are not sleeping on it. You can visit valueflowtrading.com/Falcon to read more on it and to sign up for it. So with that being said, we'll go on a very short break and the Gold Master Lekon will be coming up for his analysis on gold and the yen basket. Cheers and God bless.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Market Call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. So this morning we are going to be starting with the analysis of the precious metal, and from there we'll be heading straight to Japan to see what is going on with the yen basket, and of which we'll be rounding off straight with the yen correlated pair, starting with GBP JPY and Euro JPY. Once again, welcome. All right, let's quickly start with what exactly are we seeing on the precious metal. If you look at it from the daily perspective, you're going to agree with me that price already, created a new all-time high again, which is around this level, around 4,642.970 level. And that is a very deep one because we already see last year high been taken out, and that is telling us that all things being equal, we may see more rally of the precious metal in the next few months. But let's look at something on the weekly time frame. Now, on the weekly time frame, we are seeing what price is doing right now, but I have a speculation for price on this particular weekly chart. If the weekly time frame, this London and the New York session happens to close with an indecision candle, what I mean is either an inverted hammer or a doji, meaning if we have something like this or we have something like this on the weekly, this particular candle, this particular weekly candle, then that will tell us the narrative of what we should expect next week. But back to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, what we are seeing is that we already have a breakout from this last year high. And if that should be the case, then we should see price, pull back a bit into this particular breaker, and then we continue the bullish move all the way to the upside. And looking at what we have here, we have a fair value gap and even more like a jump around this particular open last week Friday and the open of this week Monday. So we expect that price is going to pull back a little bit. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that we are most likely going to see price do this something of this nature. Then we now see it rally move all the way back up again. All right, so that is that on the daily perspective. Let's go to the lower time frame to look at what do we have on our plate for today and how can we take advantage of what we have. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, you are going to observe after the breakout, and this is even confirming what we are expecting to happen on the daily time frame, meaning we've been seeing some level of consolidation since the opening of since Monday, and price has been in consolidation all through, but we still expect price to pull back, take all liquidity out, tap into this reference, and then we now begin to see price, push all the way further to the upside. All right, that is on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame to see what exactly do we have so far so good. On the 1-hour time frame, you are going to observe that we have what we call the bullish flag well printed out here, as you can see. And at the same time, I'm still of the opinion that even what we are seeing on the daily 4-hour, we are seeing the same thing repeating itself on the 1-hour time frame, which implies that price is still mostly going to pull back all the way to this particular zone and then begin to push all the way back up again. So I'm of the opinion that if we see any sell opportunity or sell signature, we want to follow the retracement a bit this bit, and we upload from this particular zone of the 4,500 level, and price begin its bullish move all the way back up again. Now let's go to the lower time frame to pick entries for our biases so far so good. All right, so all the way, what do we have happened so far on the 15-minute time frame? We are yesterday there was a very clean pattern that showed up, which is this shoulder. You can see this is the shoulder. We see how price took out this liquidity, and we see a clear break of market structure from here, of which price came back very early around 6:30, and it was looking like a missed opportunity. Not until the New York session, price retraced back again to that entry to take out this low, and this is a very good entry for a buy, and that delivered the 102. Now, what do we have to expect for today? I will have considered this as a bot pattern, but is not really very clear. Reason being that price just took out this liquidity with a very tiny sweep. You can see with this particular week is what took out price from this top here, right? Now, if that should be the case, what exactly should we now look out for? Because we see that it's a week that took out this liquidity, as you can all see there. So if that is it, then this is what I would call a low probability trade, meaning if price pull back all the way to this zone, you may want to consider it, but you are not going to risk much on it. This is just a low probability trade compared to this one that we have, that it is very obvious to us that this is a very clean move. As a matter of fact, this particular candlestick is telling us a story that the buyers who took price all the way up to break structure here, they are very strong, and we can easily join them again as they come here first and even show up again here, right? So that is that. But for this particular aspect, yes, we see the sell all the way to the downside. However, you can see that there is a tussle around this point, and this happens to be more like a retest of the all-time high if you look at it from the daily perspective. All right, so my opinion for this particular trade is this is going to be a low probability trade, so you may just want to raise something little on this particular trade. However, if for any reason price broke all the way to the downside, then we are going to follow it all the way to our 1 hour reference point, which is this gap that we have here. But looking at what we have now on the 15-minute time frame, they are still of the opinion that all things being equal, price should still rally a little bit more to this shoulder level. Then, if we see any entry confirming the sell move, you can easily follow through to the downside. All right, so that is that for the precious metal for today. Even if we look at it from the 5-minute time frame, you and I would agree together that even on the 5-minute time frame, everywhere seems to be a bit noisy this morning. But let's confirm this particular move. Even on the 5-minute time frame, this particular move is telling us that it is a double top and not a liquidity sweep. So I will advise maybe we should just look away from this particular trade. But if you know you have any, you can take the risk because it's a very low probability trade. Then you can pull the trigger when price gets there and gives you the entry signature. All right, so that is that for the precious metal. Let's quickly move straight all the way to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket. For the yen basket from the weekly time frame, we now see clearly, it is now visible to the blind that our price already took out the 2024 low, which we expected to be protected. As you can see, the wick taking out that particular region around this side here. You can see that happening right at this point. Price taking out the 2024 low, and now we are seeing a momentum push to the upside gradually. Today being Friday, if this candle closes with this candlestick formation, giving us an hammer, right? Then that is going to tell us next week, then we should look for opportunity to push further up. But if it doesn't, then that means price will still slide further to the downside. Now, from the daily perspective, what do we have going on the daily perspective? Daily perspective, just as we said, that all this liquidity that was built, we expect price to come and take them out. Last week on Monday, so we expect price to take all this liquidity out, then begin to push to the upside. But instead, it went further to take out the weekly, yearly liquidity level, and now it's pushing gradually to the upside. Two things would happen. First, we are likely to see price react from this region. When it gets to this zone, we are likely to see price react, or is even approaching there already, because this is a very strong support that was broken forcefully. We are likely to see price react from this region to the downside. But if for any reason we see price break this zone to the upside, then it would turn support and we begin to follow it all the way back up. But like I said, it is two scenarios. We are likely going to see price get here and reverse further to the downside. So these are the two scenarios for the yen basket. And if this is what we're expecting on the yen basket, what should we look out for on the yen correlated pair? But before we move to that, let's check on the 4-hour time frame. What do we have playing out on the 4-hour time frame? For the 4-hour time frame, we've not really seen a clear market structure shift. The market structure shift we'll be expecting is going to be at this particular one, because this is a major structure that price should break out from if truly it wants to buy. And if it doesn't and it gives this particular move, if we see any kind of close above here and price pull back all the way back down here, then we are going to consider this particular zone as a 4-hour shoulder, of which price is most likely going to pull back into with this other block and this fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame and push to the upside. In a nutshell, this is what I'm expecting to see. If for any reason price where it is right now break out here and closes above here, then we are going to see a pullback most likely into this fair value gap order block with a shoulder, meaning a confluence, and then we begin to see further move to the upside. So that is that for the yen basket. Now let's use that to interpret the other yen correlated pair, starting with GBP JPY. For GBP JPY on the weekly time frame, you are going to agree with me that long ago we already see price took out the all-time high for 2024, even since last year December. So yes, last year December, that was when we see price take out that level, of which the yen basket just did it. Now, two things on the GBP JPY moving forward. First, if today candle closes more like an indecision or an inverted hammer, just as it's already formed, if it closes something like this, then it's telling us that we are ready for the sell, meaning we want to ride it all the way to the downside. Okay. Now, but on the daily time frame, what should we now look out for? On the daily time frame, we already have price, pushing all the way further to the downside, of which I'm of the opinion that two things would happen. If for any reason price gets to this particular zone, which is this other block, and it reacts a little bit back up, then that means, and the yen basket gives further sell structure, then that means we are going further up where price gets to this place. But if for any reason yen basket broke its own structure on that 4-hour time frame, then price would only come a little bit to this level, meaning price will only come if yen basket broke the structure, it means that price will come here, react, create further structure up, then break forcefully to the downside further. Okay, so that is what I'm expecting to see on the GBP JPY. But let's go to the 4-hour time frame to confirm what exactly are our moves so far so good. Now, from what I'm seeing at this particular region, I'm of the opinion that two things. If you draw your Fibonacci retracement tool from this particular region all the way to this high, you are going to agree with me that price is currently more at a discount level, and that is where price is now around the 61.8% crib level. Now, all things being equal, I'm of the opinion that when price gets to the 78%, which also has a confluence with this daily order block, then we should see some level of reaction to the upside a bit. Now, let's go to the lower time frame to see what we are going to see happen around that region again. And looking at all we've seen here, you can see this sell that we are seeing to the downside, it did not really give an entry for anybody to join. And if something of such is happening, then it's giving us an hint that a massive sell is coming and is about to happen. All right. And I'm still of the opinion that all things being equal, price is still coming because I have a pending order seated just around this zone on GBP JPY with an entry from the 15-minute time frame. I think we did that together sometimes last week, where we mark that level together on the 15-minute time frame. Yes, this is it. This shoulder that we marked on the 15-minute time frame when price was somewhere around this place last week, Friday. You have the opinion that all things being equal, price should pull back into this level, take out all this liquidity, and begin to buy. But since price is already has already moved all the way to the upside, and now it's coming back down. Remember, we have this region seated inside the daily order block. Okay, so we are expecting price to come all the way to this shoulder and also take out this liquidity, and we'll consider our buy here. And that is what is giving us the insight of what we are looking out to see on the 15-minute time frame. Meaning, we see further sell to this downside, then we are going to buy from this region, from where we have since last week, Friday, since January 9th. Okay, so that is what we are seeing right now on the chart. Now, lastly, for Euro JPY, if you have any question, you can easily, start typing right now so that we can look at it together at the end. Okay, now for Euro JPY, starting with the weekly time frame too, you are going to agree with me that Euro JPY took out its own high a long time ago, and you can see all the expansion all the way to the upside. And what we are expecting to see showing up on what we're expecting to see showing up on a weekly time frame for GBP is what is currently happening here right now. You can see is what is currently happening here. But if today happens to close with this bearish inverted hammer, then that is telling us that next week is going to be a sell. However, on the lower time frame, if you look at the 4-hour time frame for Euro JPY, you are going to agree with me that price is only reacted to this particular level, of which I'm still of the opinion that price is still coming a little bit more to the downside somewhere around this place. Sorry, don't mind my all I mark here. Okay, now price is still coming a little bit more to this side because I'm seeing that place on the 1-hour time frame. That's a shoulder on the 1-hour time frame that we marked on this sometimes last week or 2 weeks ago. So I'm of the opinion that we are still going to see more push to this place. Then we can now see a buy reaction from this level. Now, this buy reaction does not really validate the point that price is coming all the way back to take out this all-time high. It's just telling us that we may see reaction here all the way to the midpoint of this swing that gets to this buy zone. Then we begin to see sell further to the downside. But let's check on the 15-minute time frame. What do we have, showing up on the 15-minute time frame of Euro JPY? Looking at this last move, everywhere is just telling us that we are in a sell move right now, even though the higher time frame on the weekly is still more like a buy trend. But remember, lower time frame makes up the higher time frame, even though the higher time frame controls the lower time frame. So that is that. Right now, there's no any entry for Euro JPY until price gets to that 1-hour PO high. All right. So if there's any question, this is going to be the end of today's market call. If there's any question, I would love to take your questions. And if there are none, then we are going to be ending for this London session here till we meet again for the New York session by 2 p.m. Make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. Once again, I'm Lake Consherry. Cheers and God bless.